welcome on in. My name is PJ. This is a raid challenge video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the new fusion calendar that has just dropped. Let's get right to it. So first off, I'm going to be at the end of the video, I'm going to give kind of my thoughts. I have changed my thoughts a little bit on the fusion. So if you guys want to hear that, wait till the end. I'll give you my thoughts and if I'm going for them or not. For this first part, we're just going to break down the fusion calendar and let you know how we're going to be doing it. So first off, it's a classic fusion, which makes it a little bit harder because there's not really skipping any events outside of the summon rush. So the summon rush is extra for the epic. You don't have to necessarily do this part, but you need to do all of these events. And then if you do want to do the summon rush, then you can skip 4 things. You could skip the champion chase and the new gear hunters. If I say DD, I'm sorry. If I say dungeon divers, I mean gear hunters. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to get used to saying gear hunters versus dungeon divers. It's been dungeon divers for 5-6 years and now it's gear hunters, so apologize for that. But you could skip the gear hunters, you could skip the champ training. So there is a little bit of flexibility if you get this summon rush epic, or if you pull one of the rares from shards, from void shards. But if you don't get this extra summon rush, you have to do every single event. So it can be a little tricky. How are we going to do this? Let's break it down. So starting off, pretty nice. They start off the dungeon divers or the gear. Sorry, I read gear hunters and I said dungeon divers. They start us off with the gear hunters event and the Fire Knight overlapping. Wonderful, you can overlap those at the same time. Then you have the gear enhancement. Each gear enhancement is going to be roughly around 15-ish million silver, depending on if you have any gear rolled, and your RNG could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. So there's going to be, I believe, 3 gear enhancements, 1 gear enhancement, 2 gear enhancements, 3 gear enhancements. So each one of those about 15 million silver, give or take. Hold up, guys. Now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1, log out of Player and Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. The first few days are looking pretty easy. You do Fire Knight and you do the gear hunters together. That should give you enough silver to do the gear enhancement if you have low silver. And then you come to the dragon tournament. So we have dragon overlapping with champion training, which is nice. A lot of people can do dragon and champion training together, but I would say you might want to wait a little bit and not do this right away. Ideally, you want to wait until the second gear hunter event starts. You can do on Saturday, you can do the dragon, hopefully champ training and gear hunters all at the same time. If you can't do champion training during dragon, then you can do some of the champion training early. But ideally, you want to try to overlap the dragon tournament with the second gear hunter and really triple dip if you can with the champion training as well. Then we have a summon rush. So we have Friday, we have the summon rush. This will most likely be, depending on if you want the epic and the rare or just the rare. I would say just for the rare, probably around 5-ish sacreds, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more because it is the void. They generally make void champions a little bit harder to get, so maybe 5 or 6 sacreds for the rare. And then for the epic, I would say maybe 8 to 10 for the epic if you want to get the epic, which can be a lot, but it does allow you to skip 4 other events and gives you that leeway in case you mess something up. So it could be smart to get this if you have the resources. The other thing is that this champion chase tournament right here is most likely going to be 2x sacreds. Now, that is not ideal for fusions. I would not recommend pulling sacreds during a 2x. For fusions, you really want to use your sacreds for the summon rush. So if you have some extra sacreds, if you have enough to get the summon rush, being able to skip the champion chase and then skipping a couple gear hunters or a couple champ trainings or something like that could be the move and potentially what I'm doing. But sorry, back to where we're at. So we have the dragon champion training and gear hunter overlapping, like I said. You have the classic arena starting. This is the first one. Really easy, just do your classic arena, hit the one person, hit the easy defenses, should not be too bad. You have the second gear enhancement starting as well. You should have enough silver built up between the dragon and just other things you're doing dailies to do that. Like I said, 15 million silver. You have the ice golem here overlapping with 2 different Gear Hunter tournaments. So depending on what you want to do, you can do a little bit of it to finish off this one, and then you can save the rest to start this, the third Gear Hunter, or play it by how you feel. If you think you're going to do a bunch of Spider for this, then you can finish it with the Gear Enhancement, or sorry, you can finish it with the first Gear Hunter. If you don't think you're going to do a lot of Dragon, or if you're going to do a lot of Dragon, then and you're not going to do a lot of Spider, then maybe save it for the second one. But this is the one where you kind of have a little bit of flexibility depending on which event you want to use it on. But ideally you want to overlap with one of these, either the second or the third Gear Hunter. Then we have the third Gear Hunter starting. Gear Enhancement number 3, like I said, 15-ish million silver. Here's the second, or the Spider Tournament, overlapping with the third. So this third Gear Hunter is going to be pretty easy depending on what you need. Ice Golem and Spider overlapping it, instead of like the first one where it's just Fire Knight, which can be kind of rough. Or yeah, not being able to. I guess we have the event dungeon, so you can overlap it with the event dungeon, but it's kind of nice when you have two things overlapping it, so you can spread the points out. Because usually a lot more points for the Gear Hunters to finish it than it is to finish up just the normal Ice Golem tournament or the Spider tournament. Keep that in mind. Then we have the Champion Training, which again, you can overlap with Spider if possible. If you can get some food in there, it would be nice. If not, Campaign, Tavern, same thing up here. Like I mentioned, if you can do the Dragon Tournament and Champion Training at the same time, awesome. If not, Campaign, Tavern, just got to level up those champions. Then we had to talk about this, the Champion Chase. We mentioned it a little bit ago, but I believe this is going to be 2x Sacreds, and if it is 2x Sacreds, not ideal. It's really rough 4 points to get the amount you're looking for unless you get really lucky. And yeah, that's how I save up on most of my Sacreds, is by not pulling during 2x Sacred, especially during a Champion Chase. I really try to save them for the Summon Rushes, for Guaranteed, things like that. And then we have the last Classic Arena Tournament. Should be pretty easy. Like I said earlier, just hit those one-person defenses, just refresh, hit the defenses you can do, and I should knock that out pretty easily. So, am I going for this? Should you guys be going for this? And why or why not? So, initially, I was kind of a lot more excited than I am now when I see how his damage is. On paper, he looks really cool. His A1 end game, like in the game now, his A1 hits really, really hard. His A2 doesn't hit that hard, but has good debuffs. And then his A3 is the one that I was hoping was going to be really nice. And in my opinion, it's just not that good for what you want it to do. So what you want it to do is hit through and kill someone that has Stone Skin on them, that has the Unkillable, that has block damage, things like that. We can take a quick look here at his kit, actually. But from what I've seen is that he just doesn't hit hard enough if they have those debuffs, or if they have those buffs on them. So I was watching a lot of test server stuff, or with UDK. Like UDK had a giant shield, and this dude just wasn't hitting hard enough. He barely broke the shield, so shield's one big issue with him. And then this, like ideally you want this bonus damage when they have Unkillable, Stone Skin, or block damage, not when they don't have it. It's kind of flip-flop. So for what you really want him to kill through Unkillable, Stone Skin, or block damage, he's not getting that big bonus damage boost. And then when they don't have it, which it should be, they're gonna be easier to kill because they don't have the Unkillable, they don't have the Stone Skin, don't have the block damage. It'll be easier to kill. You get that big damage boost. So kind of backwards in my opinion. I still think he's good though. Just not as good as I think he could have been. I saw his Hydra damage numbers kind of lacking as well. I almost wish they just would have made him a pure support, bringing the Shatter, bringing the increased crit damage, bringing the increased accuracy, the block buffs, the decreased defense. They could have made him more supporty and not this like hybrid kind of mixed bag of tricks. But overall, he's pretty unique. I do like the Shatter. I do like the A2. I think he's going to personally help me in Faction Wars for a couple of the stages. Maybe for future content, who knows, with the bosses. I do like his passive where he can't be CC'd. Again, I wish this would be if they like almost had buffs or something. I don't know. I get it where he's supposed to have the block buffs, so ideally they don't have buffs, so he'll hit more damage, or he'll do more damage, but I don't know, just the way it works doesn't seem like it synergizes that well. And then the A1, I love the A1. This hits super hard, three hitter. Each hit has a chance of removing a buff. Ignores 20% defense. This hits really, really hard. So I'm going to be doing him. If you're early, mid-game, and you have the resources, I think he could help you out. I don't think he's a game changer, though. If you guys are saving for the turtles, I definitely understand. I don't think this is a must-do, but I think if you have the resources, and if you're a late-game player, end-game player, I try to do every fusion. I'd rather have them and never use them than than not get them and need them in the future. Is kind of how I'm looking at it. And generally, if you're a late game player, fusions are pretty easy as long as you save your shards. That's the toughest part. People want to just yeet, which I understand, but if you can save a few sacreds, fusions are generally pretty easy. Let me know if you guys are going for this guy or not. Like I said, I'll be going for him, but just not really the game changer or the nuker that I really hoped he was going to be. One thing that I did not mention that I want to is that depending on how many sacreds this summon rush is, if it's 10 to 12, then maybe a possibility is skipping this. And because the champion the champion chase here is at the end, we can use the wolf, the summons, and the epic to get points for the champion chase, so it'll be less points. So that is an option. Also, if you have previous fusions, like I have Donnie saved up, the past fusion, maybe you have Doom Tower Legos that you have saved, or Doom Tower Epics, or if you have Broadmas saved. Like, there are other ways outside of pulling Sacreds to get champion chase points, even though it is a 2x Sacred. Even mystery shards, stuff like that. So that is an option that I might explore, because I do have a bunch of gems to turn into energy. I have silver, I have food for champion training. So depending on how bad I want to pull shards here, if it's not that good of an event, something to think about is skipping this, getting just the rare, and then just making sure that you're saving all of your rares to turn into epics and epics to turn into the legendary. Or you can't get it for the to get the legendary, but you can get the epics, at least 3 epics for the champion chase, which is nice. So something to think about, something I might do depending, but wanted to throw that in there just so you guys could be aware of that as well.